She said she wasn't interested, not angrily, not dramatically, just calmly enough to feel final. And if you've ever heard those words, you know how heavy they land. It's not rejection that hurts the most. It's the feeling that nothing you do could possibly matter anymore. But here's the part most people never understand. When someone says they're not interested, it doesn't always mean desire is impossible. It often means desire hasn't been activated yet. And that difference changes everything. Most men respond to disinterest the same way. They either disappear completely or try harder. More messages, more compliments, more effort. Both reactions come from fear. Fear of losing the chance, fear of not being enough. And ironically, both reactions push attraction further away. Not because effort is bad, but because attraction doesn't grow in the presence of pressure. It grows in the presence of emotional contrast. Here's what almost no one tells you. Attraction isn't a switch. It's a slow, internal process that begins long before someone realizes it's happening. When she said she wasn't interested, what she was really saying was, nothing about this interaction is reaching me emotionally. That's not a judgment of your worth, it's feedback about the dynamic. Attraction doesn't respond to logic. You can't reason your way into someone's desire. You can't convince them with explanations or persistence. Desire responds to how someone feels around you, especially how they feel about themselves when they're with you. This is where everything shifts. The moment things changed wasn't when you said the perfect line. It wasn't when you tried to impress her. It was when you stopped chasing her emotional approval and started regulating your own emotional presence. When you became grounded instead of reactive, calm instead of anxious, self-contained instead of seeking. When someone feels chased, they feel evaluated. When someone feels evaluated, they protect themselves. But when someone feels emotionally safe, something very different happens. Their nervous system relaxes, curiosity replaces defense, and that's when attraction quietly starts forming. This is why sudden disinterest sometimes turns into unexpected attraction later, not because you did more, but because you did less in the right way. You stopped trying to pull desire toward you and allowed space for it to emerge on its own. Here's something subtle but powerful. When you don't collapse emotionally after rejection, it sends a signal deeper than confidence. It communicates emotional independence, not detachment, not coldness, independence. And emotional independence is one of the strongest unconscious attraction triggers there is. Think about it. Most people are driven by invisible needs to be wanted, validated, chosen. When someone isn't driven by those needs, they stand out, not loudly, quietly. Their presence feels different. There's no emotional demand in the air, no pressure to respond a certain way. And that absence of pressure creates intrigue. This is often the moment she starts noticing you differently, not romantically yet, just differently. You're no longer trying to get something from her. You're simply existing fully in yourself. And that shift changes the emotional equation. Attraction grows when someone feels free around you, free to choose, free to approach, free to step back. The paradox is that the more freedom someone feels, the more likely they are to move closer, because choice is the foundation of desire. Another thing changes here, your energy. When you're no longer trying to be liked, your attention turns inward. You speak slower, you listen more deeply, you react less. And people can feel that. It creates emotional gravity. This is where she starts leaning in emotionally without realizing it. She might initiate small conversations, ask questions she didn't ask before, share thoughts she normally keeps guarded. Not because she decided she likes you, but because her body feels calmer around you. Attraction often begins in the body before it reaches the mind. And here's the part most people misunderstand. This shift doesn't come from ignoring her or playing games. It comes from being internally full instead of externally seeking,
from knowing that connection is a bonus, not a requirement for your sense of self. When you stop over-investing emotionally, you become more present, and presence is magnetic. It makes interactions feel real instead of transactional. She begins to associate you with a certain feeling, ease, and ease is rare, especially in a world full of tension, expectation, and performance. This is also where mystery re-enters the dynamic, not artificial mystery, real mystery. Because when you're not explaining yourself, proving yourself, or oversharing to gain approval, people can't fully read you, and the mind naturally fills in the gaps. The moment she realizes she's thinking about you without a reason, that's when everything has already changed. But notice something important. You didn't try to change her mind. You didn't try to win. You simply changed how you showed up in the world, and attraction followed. This is why chasing interest never works, but embodying grounded presence often does. Desire doesn't respond to need, it responds to emotional strength that doesn't demand anything back. At some point, she might even surprise herself. She might catch herself wanting your attention, missing your energy, wondering what you're doing. And that confusion is a sign that attraction has begun to form internally. Because attraction isn't a decision, it's a realization. And by the time she realizes it, it feels natural, like it was always meant to happen. Not forced, not pressured, just organic. This is also why timing matters less than people think. You didn't wait for the right moment. You became the right emotional environment, and environments shape outcomes more than effort ever could. What changed everything wasn't something you said to her. It was something you stopped saying to yourself. You stopped telling yourself that her interest defined your value. And the moment you did that, you stopped trying to earn connection and started allowing it. That's when attraction stopped being something you chased and became something that emerged. And the most powerful part, even if she hadn't come back interested, you still would have won. Because the real shift wasn't about her response, it was about your relationship with yourself. When you're emotionally grounded, you're attractive whether someone chooses you or not. And paradoxically, that's when people are most likely to choose you. So when she said she wasn't interested, it wasn't the end. It was the beginning of a different dynamic, one rooted in presence, self-respect, and emotional stability. And that's what changed everything.